At this point, healing factors are just kind of stupid. And I say that from the very bottom of my heart. I truly think that healing factors may have just jumped the shark, and they're about the cheesiest, most inconsistent superpower in Marvel comics and films. Now, of course, they're super cool, don't get me wrong, and we even see them a lot in Star Wars now, but just the way they're handled in Marvel is just, as I said, inconsistent. Not only are the heroes whose main ability is healing ridiculous, but almost every superhero has an accelerated healing factor at this point. Point to any recipient of the Super Soldier Serum, any of the spider or goblin themed characters, and just about every important alien species, and you'll see that in their character bios underneath skills and abilities, it'll say accelerated healing. Now, if everyone who gets popped in the face by the Incredible Hulk can almost instantaneously heal, Logan style, doesn't it mean that it's not really a superpower? Isn't healing just, I don't know, part of the Marvel Universe's human experience at this point? There's a really healthy balance that writers need to strike when trying to use healing factors in comics, and movies for that matter. If the healing factor is too strong, then there really isn't any threat to our heroes. If Deadpool can survive a sword through his brain or regrow limbs overnight, then we won't really worry about them, especially if they're going down against foes like Juggernaut. And on the other end of the spectrum, in the early X-Men films, when they wanted to make fans worry whether or not Wolverine would survive, let's say with Sabretooth, Magneto, or even random humans with tiny handguns, they would just make his healing factor really weak. He got hit once by Sabretooth at the beginning of X-Men 1, and he was knocked out for like hours. In X2, he gets shot in the head by a police officer, and again, he was knocked out. The movie would soon show Wolvie's healing factor in action as the thin layer of muscle on his forehead pushed the bullet out and popped it onto the floor next to him. Like literally instantly. So now Wolverine's healing factor is notorious for being all over the place. At one point, I think he regrew his entire body back from a single cell drop of blood in less than a second. Now, mind you, he was helped by some pretty crazy alien tech, but it was obviously one of the most ridiculous moments in comic history. That being said, it's also pretty lame for Wolverine to be taken out by a single shot of a 9mm pistol and be knocked out. He's one of the most lethal mutants in the world. And after all, even if Vin Diesel can shrug off gunshot wounds in the Riddick flicks quicker than Wolverine, then it really can't get more disappointing than that. So what is the balance for a healing factor? That's the point I'm trying to make here. And I'm not trying to dog anything. I think Wolverine's healing factor is one of the coolest things in Marvel. But the way they're doing it is just so they just choose when they want to do it and make it cool and make it effective. And when they don't, just to cater to the plot line. It's something between Wolverine getting torn in half by the Ultimate Hulk and crawling his way through the Himalayas, with his intestines dragging in the snow and getting beat up by a crowd of bikers in a random bar. If we have to point at one character from the films who did healing right, I'd say it's X-24 from Logan. In that film, Dr. Xandar Rice cloned Wolverine and created a perfect, younger killing machine. He walked through gunshots, healed rapidly after Laura repeatedly plunged her adamantium claws into his body, but ultimately also had very believable limits. If he were shot, stabbed, or wounded by something like a bullet or knife, he would heal. But if he were thrown on spikes, for example, like the ones on this tractor, then he was completely incapacitated, and seemingly would have died if Dr. Rice, also known as Classic Loki in the MCU, didn't save him. Basically, if he were stuck with something that didn't allow him to heal and left the wounds open, he would be in very, very deep trouble. And that's a fair trade-off. I mean, X-24 is terrifying, he's pretty much almost invincible, and he's just a killing machine. Now, I hope we'll see a better balance with healing factors in the future. With Deadpool confirmed to return to films in the MCU, I think that we'll definitely see some more goofy healing abilities from him. But that's kind of what you expected from the Merc with a mouth. At the same time, the X-Men and our favorite tiny mutant, Wolverine, will also surely make their debut. I'm interested to see how Wolverine will be portrayed. He'll need to be able to get strong enough to go one-on-one with Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man. After all, in the comics, he has famous fights with each and every one of them. Hugh Jackman's Logan would probably get knocked out pretty quick by the MCU's Hulk. Whoever the new Wolverine will be, hopefully Kevin Feige and the good folks at the MCU find a healing factor that makes some compelling stories and isn't disappointing, or inconsistent, should I say. And mind you, Hugh Jackman is my favorite Wolverine. I know we haven't really had another one, but I'm just going to say it right now. I'm pretty sure he's going to be my favorite #1 Wolverine, no matter who they choose. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one.